Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for October 23rd, 2018. I'm your host, Gary Smith. And on today's show, I'll be talking with Coach Dunn about this crazy weekend of football. And usually you could just say it's a Saturday of football, but in this case it was a weekend of football up on the shores of Lake Erie. And then we're going to break down the standings and scores from the PSAC over this past weekend and then look ahead to this week's big matchup against Slippery Rock. But first, I'd like to apologize for the beard. I got Halloween coming up next week, and I'm debating between either Obi-Wan or old Luke Skywalker. So I got to grow the beard no matter what. But Coach, nice little vacation in Erie.
Yeah,
unexpected.
Long weekend in Erie. It was a crazy weekend. Really proud of the way our guys stayed focused over the course of 2 days to come away with a big win in league and PSAC West play. Mercyhurst is a tough place to play, and then you add playing over the course of 2 days. Really just proud of our guys, the way they stayed focused and handled their business, and we were lucky to get the win.
In case anybody out there watching right now doesn't know what we're talking about, one of the craziest days of football, or craziest weekends for football, I know I've ever been a part of, probably you've ever been a part of. I mean, I've sat through weather delays, one or two, but 3 weather delays. It started about, 11:45, you guys are warming up, and then everyone's off the field, and that was probably about an hour and a half delay. And then you played maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then another 2-hour delay.
Yeah.
And then you got almost the whole first half in until the final delay, which I think was the worst weather of the afternoon. Whenever you probably couldn't see it was behind your sideline, but just a zigzag of lightning went through, and that ultimately.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. We got our guys up at 7:30 in the morning and had pregame. We had a quick walkthrough at the hotel and had pregame meal at 8 o'clock. We tend to get to the stadium 2 hours before a game, so we show up at 10 o'clock for a 12 o'clock start, and we don't start playing football till close to 2 o'clock. And then, with the 2 delays on and off, very, very difficult to get our guys in a rhythm. But I tell you what, focused bunch of guys, really proud of the way they handled it. Because that is tough. And fortunately, I said a couple weeks ago, now we've had 2 in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. We had one at Clarion, and, we had them during preseason camp. And our guys, I really think this team's starting to come together. They enjoy being around each other. Again, Mercyhurst has probably one of the better facilities as far as locker rooms on the road. So our guys got to relax a little bit, told them to take off the pads. They had the music on. Our coaches were watching other PSAC games on iPods and really just, enjoy being around your teammates and find a way when we get back out on the field to focus. When I thought we did that each time, and I'm sure we're going to talk about Sunday, I thought that was the difference. We came out ready to play on Sunday. It was kind of a weird situation. They're getting ready to have the ball. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the half. They have the football on the 40-yard line, and then they get the ball first in the second half. So they're going to get 2 back-to-back possessions. We were up 6-0 at the time. Our defense came out and got a huge 3-and-out. We were able to get in the 2-minute offense, get on and kick a field goal. So to start Sunday off, to be up 9-0 in the way we started, I think is a testament to how our guys love to compete and love football.
And not only that, you mentioned the field goal at the end of the first half on Sunday. Saturday, I mean, you guys made 2 clutch field goals to go up 6-0, and wasn't very easy kicks. I mean, that weather on Saturday and Sunday was windy. I know Saturday, the second kick, the flags were blowing pretty much horizontally. So your special teams, once again, setting a tone.
Did a nice job. Brian Brooks did a nice job going out in those conditions and collecting points for us. That second field goal was a little bit longer with crazy weather and wind. And, he's doing a really nice job for us right now, and that kind of lifted us up. I thought all week that Mercyhurst does a really good job on their red zone defense. And, we had some opportunities that one, we didn't capitalize on down there, but to send Brian out and get that 6-0 lead on Saturday and then come back and in the first possession get 9-0. I think that kind of settled us down and settled us in.
And I tell you what, it took 2 days, almost 40-some hours, but your defense gets the shutout, first one since 2016. And I know whenever we were there Saturday, that they were bringing the lumber. There was no question who the more physical team was going to be on that weekend.
Yeah, our defense played extremely well. I thought we played well in all phases. I thought we played well on the back end. We got pass rush going a little bit. We created turnovers, which is huge for us. We had a couple interceptions. We caused a fumble. We had some sacks. They played really, really well over the course of 48 hours or whatever it was. We were I thought we were the only college football game in the country on Sunday, but we weren't. Hawaii and Nevada also played, so it was Hawaii, Nevada, and Cal and Mercyhurst
Stealing our thunder.
on Sunday. Yeah, but defense played really well. Coach Craig had those guys coached up well, and they played with a lot of energy. They kind of feed off each other on that side of the ball. I thought Breon Coe kind of set the tone. He had a sack on the first play of Sunday's game. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the day.
And what was that like the night before? Like you just mentioned, you had almost 20-some hours to think about that possession when they got the ball, at the 40-yard line, and then knowing they're going to get, because I'm assuming they didn't take a halftime. They probably just, quarter break and then into the third quarter. So, I mean, what was that thought process like, just knowing that, okay, tomorrow's not starting with the kickoff. Tomorrow's starting, they're going to have the ball in our zone, our part of the field.
Sure.
What do we do?
Well, it's funny. We practice a spot the ball period on Tuesdays and Wednesdays in practice, where it's 11 on 11, good on good. I throw the ball up. Sometimes it's in the red zone. Sometimes it's at midfield, and we just go play. Mm-hmm. And that's typically how we start practices. Sometimes we do it in the middle of practice, and that's what we told our guys. Hey, we're spotting the ball. It's just like practice. Go out and play. We adjusted our schedule so that our guys were fresh on Sunday. We didn't do the whole pregame routine where we're not, an hour before. We went out 20 minutes before, or 25 minutes before we were set to play on that 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, and I think that helped our guys. Just the logistics of trying to find a hotel, and Mercyhurst did a great job of helping us out, but getting the buses to stay an extra night, finding how you're going to feed 80 people in a short amount of time. There was a lot of logistics that went into us staying an extra night, food, where we're going to eat pregame meal on Sunday, and I thought everybody handled it really well. Ben Hilburn, our equipment manager, did an unbelievable job. Our trainers, Scott and Jimmy, did an unbelievable job. So it was great to see everybody from Cal U kind of come together, rally around to give our guys the support they needed to ultimately finish a football game. And I just can't say enough about our staff.
I'm going to tell you what, your staff was probably, if we could have clocked them on the stats, probably at about 300 yards rushing, because every rain delay had to get stuff in, get stuff out, get stuff in, get stuff out. That's something people don't see because, that was pretty horrible weather on Saturday. And just to finish up the game on Sunday, team finished. It was 9-0 going into the fourth quarter, and 14 points in the fourth quarter left no doubt about what was going to happen.
Yeah, we really couldn't get into a rhythm offensively. For whatever reason. And part of that's Mercyhurst. They've got a good defense and a good scheme. They're well coached. I got a lot of respect for those guys. Just couldn't get into a rhythm. I thought we ran the ball really well. Nelson Brown had over 100 yards. Nick Grissom chipped in another 75, so we ran for a little over 200. And that's what you got to do on days like that. When for whatever reason your past games, we had a couple drops, we had a couple bad balls, we had a couple pressures. You got to step up, and that's why we want to be a balanced offense. But I was happy with the way we finished. We finished on 2 drives there in the fourth quarter, and then we're able to kind of get in form in an offense and run the ball out. Chuck Carr, young freshman running back for us, did a nice job at the end of that game. So, very happy with the way we finished, but really proud of just the way the kids battled and stayed focused. Our guys love to compete, whether it's Saturday, Sunday, hopefully Tuesday at practice. Our guys just love to compete, and I think that showed over the weekend.
We'll have to look in the record books with Matt Kiefer and his staff. That could be the longest Cal football game in almost 100-year history of Vulcan football. 2 days is 2 days, but a great win on Saturday, Coach. We don't have highlights from Saturday because of a variety of reasons, mainly because it was a 2-day game. But we are going to look at everything that happened in the PSAC and kind of get a feel for what's going on in the conference, because we're coming down to the nitty-gritty part of the season. I see the Saturday-Sunday game, California Mercy's 23-0. Slippery Rock over Clarion, 28-13. The weird part of that, we were watching that game in the press box while the Erie was basically falling apart around us, and it was bright sunshine like 34 miles away in Clarion. Seton Hill at Edinburgh. I don't think they had a delay. I know their soccer game had a delay later, but Edinburgh taking care of business 56-12. And then IUP and Gannon, 5 miles away, had the same issues.
Sure.
You guys did, but somehow they were able to finish on Saturday. I think because Gannon's lights were probably a little more powerful, 43-34 against Gannon. Moving on to the PSAC East. Full slate of games, all teams playing. Bloomsburg at Lockhaven wins 33-7. Kutztown and Shippensburg. That game was close for a good part of that day on Saturday, but Kutztown gets the win 42-28. Westchester at East Stroudsburg wins 53-24. And Millersville playing the non-conference game against Malone. They lose 38-34 against Malone. And let's take a look at the standings through this week. and we're going to talk about in a second. Cal Slippery Rock 1-2 in the PSAC West. C7-1, 5-3, 6-2. So it's all bunched up at the top. And let's take a look at the PSAC East. And you see Kutztown and Westchester, both 4-0, 7-0 on a collision course at the top. But we're going to take a second to pause and look at last year's highlights against Slippery Rock, our opponent this week, and then we will come back and talk and break down the Rock of Slippery Rock. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.
3 on the play clock. He gets that ball off, pressured a little bit, moves up in the pocket, lets this one go, and this is going to be Tyson Hill for a big reception. He makes his way into the end zone for a California touchdown. Tanner Gary looks over his shoulder. That's going to be intercepted by the Vulcans. And that is going to be a pick 6 just like that, Jack. Brazil gives his holder the nod. He's going to get this kick off. It's a line drive. It's up, and it's going to be good. California, they're going to take a 17-point lead. Now Gary hands it off to Neely. Neely puts his head down. He's going to make his way into the end zone for a Rock touchdown. Slippery Rock trying to get some points on the board. This one's up, and this one is going to be good. Tanner Gary, he's going to drop back. They're going to go to look in the air, and this one is going to be rifled. Here's going to hand this one off to Jalen Bell. Jalen Bell gets in there for a California touchdown. Looking to make his way down the field. He hands this one off. Number 21 finds a hole into the end zone, and just like that, the Rock are back on the board. Chapla. And this one's going to be blocked by California. He's going to get the snap. He's going to go over to Jalen Bell. Jalen Bell, this ball is going to be knocked loose. It's going to be picked up by Slippery Rock, number 44 for Slippery Rock, Marcus Martin. This one's going to be handed off again. And is he going to be denied of the touchdown? It looks like he is, but he's going to fight his way into the end zone. This one's going to be called a touchdown. One sidecar. He's going to hand this one off. And he has room. He has room. He's going to find his way into the end zone. Michael Kier has 2 side cards. He's going to give it to Jimmy Wheeler, and this time Jimmy Wheeler does find his way into the end zone for a Vulcans touchdown. Michael Kier hands this one off to Wheeler. Wheeler finds a space. Wheeler has more. Wheeler finds his way into the end zone. California is going to take the lead. And he does. He sends this one away to Slippery Rock. This one's almost mishandled. This is going to be Johnson. Johnson's going to be taken down around the 20.
The ball is out. The ball is out. California may have recovered it here.
Brazil puts this one up, and just like perfection, right through the uprights. Tanner Garrett gets this one off. He's going to go in the air. This one's wide, and that's going to be to Miley Ray into the end zone. The kick is up. It's going to be a line drive. Will Brazil misses it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. The Slippery Rock team rushes the field as Chapla nails that.
Saturdays are for the Vulcans. At Ohio Dominican, at Kutztown, at Shippensburg, home versus Edinburgh, Coble versus IUP, at Clarion, homecoming versus Gannon, at Mercyhurst, home versus Slippery Rock, at Seton Hill, home versus Westchester. Catch all the action live on CUTV and WCAL.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show. My name is Gary Smith, once again, here with Coach Dunn. And Coach, we broke down last weekend's game against Mercier, so now it's time to take a look forward at this upcoming week's opponent, Slippery Rock. And this is a series, last couple of years, these games have been back and forth to the wire. Last year was back and forth, went to overtime. What have you seen on film so far?
Yeah, Slippery Rock's really talented. They believe they're 7-1 right now. Offensively, they're putting up a lot of chunk yards. They're, running for close to 200 yards a game. They got a transfer tailback that's doing a really good job. They got a transfer quarterback that's throwing for close to 300 yards a game. So they're averaging 41 points a game and 500 total yards. I mean, they're doing a really, really nice job offensively. You flip over to the defensive side, and they're just as talented on that side. They've got two great cover corners, an active linebacking group, very active up front. I believe they're only giving up 20 points a game, less than 100 yards rushing. I mean, they are a very, very good football team. So it's going to be a tough test. They're well coached and play really good football.
Now, with the game being, finishing up Sunday, I know Sunday's usually a day off for the team. I mean, coaches never have a day off, but how does that change your week of preparation with having, in effect, one less day of prepping for Slippery Rock?
Yeah, we gave the guys off Monday. I think after that weekend, a long weekend, they needed a day off. And our guys are obviously college students, and a chance for them to get caught up on their schoolwork. I know a lot of our guys spend Sunday doing their assignments and getting ready for the week of class. So I thought it was really important that we just let them have Monday off. Our coaching staff worked. Those guys all went home and worked from home. Some of our guys hadn't seen their families all weekend. So we worked from home and then had all day yesterday to prepare and kind of get back on track. So now Tuesday morning we're back to our normal schedule, and I think it was good for our guys to get a day off.
Now with this game, I mean, if you looked at the standings before, I mean, it's basically a collision course. Both teams are fighting for first place. Like, how does that go into the prep, knowing that, this is something that you guys play for to put yourself in position to?
It's the next game on the schedule, and that's the way we treat it. Now, I know our guys will be excited anytime and I say every week or just about every week, you got to show up every week in a PSAC, and I think we learned that this year. But they're all rivalry games. We were at Mercyhurst, and you could see a group of guys sitting there talking with guys they went to high school with to play for Mercyhurst. I know we've got some teammates that have teammates from Slippery Rock. So they're all big games. We get a chance to play at home, and that's huge for us. I think having a home game is huge. But it's the next game up for us, and obviously we got an extremely talented opponent.
And that's going to be this Saturday at 1 o'clock at Adamson Stadium. Make sure you come out and support the California Vulcans. I believe we both looked at our weather forecast. There's no lightning in the area. It's going to be a beautiful day on Saturday. Before we put a bow on this show, let's just take a look around the PSAC with the schedule this weekend, because this is the next to last weekend of divisional play. Seton Hill at IUP at noon. A lot of games at noon or 12:05. Mercer at Gannon, big rivalry game up there. Edinburgh at Clarion. Ship at Lockhaven. Westchester at Kutztown. So there's right there in the middle of the schedule. Top two teams in each division are playing this weekend. So definitely want to track of that. I don't even have to ask the question, what's the other game to watch this week? Ohio Dominicans at East Stroudsburg and Millersburg's at Bloomsburg. So there's a lot of football. A lot of things are going to be decided by about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, obviously Westchester Kutztown is going to be a great game. You always ask for one, but I give you two because
Okay.
I always got to pick a game in the West. Right?
Okay.
I can't just go with an East. I think that Edinboro at Clarion game is going to be a really good football game. But obviously Westchester Kutztown that's going to decide the East is going to be a great football game.
So make sure you have your ability to keep track of everything, but most importantly, come out to Adamson Stadium. Like Coach said, it's going to be a beautiful day. Going to be 1
Absolutely.
o'clock.
We need the student population out. I know we've got a lot of alumni coming back. I've talked to a lot of those guys already. We need the Mon Valley to come out. This is a big game for us, and because it's the next one. But it'd be great to have a great crowd, and I know we will. Our attendance has been phenomenal. I think we've kind of got a great deal going on campus. Last Thursday we had over 40 guys go play in a cornhole tournament for a sorority for their fundraiser. So I know those girls will probably be joining us, and it's just special here at Cal that everyone seems to be supporting everybody. But we're asking for your help this weekend. Get out and support the Vulcans. Come up and have a great day at Adamson Stadium.
Well, not only the atmosphere in the stadium has been great this year, but just in the parking lot, the tailgating, the fan. I mean, it's been an event, and everyone's it's cool to see when we're setting up. And you look over the stadium, you see everyone out grilling, you see the Cal flags, you see all the red and black out there, and then they bring that energy in. That's got to be great for you, your guys, to see when you're coming into the stadium.
Absolutely.
All that support.
Absolutely, and hopefully it continues. I know it will. There's going to be a big tailgate up there this weekend.
So you heard it from Coach. Big tailgate this weekend. Like I said, Saturday at 1 o'clock. If you can't make it if you have a valid excuse.
No excuses, Gary.
There's no excuses, but if you do have one, if you're stuck in traffic, you can watch the game on CUTV Sports 1 and also on the PSAC network, and also download the Radio FX app and listen to the game on 91.9 FM WCL. Coach, glad you made it out of Erie, and good luck this weekend. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Sounds good. For Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. You're watching The Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.